much every single year, there are multiple players who enter the NFL draft who are defined as boom or bust. These guys have the potential to either carve themselves an impact role in the league or flame out and be out of the NFL in a short period of time. Most of the time, these guys will have all of the physical tools to succeed in the pros, but some form of question marks surround whether their skill set will translate from college to the NFL. Be it their lack of playing time or production in college, concerns about if their game will work against bigger, faster, and stronger competition, or in the more rare case, off-the-field issues that have nothing to do with their production or their talent. In this year's draft, one of the many players that fall into that boom or bust category is Minnesota edge rusher Boye Mafe. Mafe is a player who certainly has the talent, but there are also some major red flags to his game that make me concerned as to how he will perform at the next level. But before we dive into Boye Mafe, be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as hit that big red subscribe button along with that little bell next to it so you get pinged with notifications when we upload. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, and we are trying to get there before the NFL draft, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I would certainly appreciate it. And now, let's get back to your regularly scheduled video. Boye Mafe will be entering the NFL as a 23-year-old redshirt senior out of the University of Minnesota. He was a local product growing up in the Minneapolis area. He attended Hopkins High School in the Minneapolis suburb of Minnetonka. In his senior year, Mafe was named to the All-Minneapolis Metro team after posting 78 tackles, 10 TFLs, and 4 sacks. Mafe decided to remain in Minneapolis and play football for the Golden Gophers. Mafe redshirted his freshman season at Minnesota. He spent his first 2 seasons on the college gridiron in a rotational role before finding his way into the starting lineup in his pandemic-shortened redshirt junior season in 2020. Mafe started 6 of the Gophers' 7 games in 2020, where he recorded 27 total tackles, 5.5 TFLs, and 4.5 sacks. Mafe certainly shot up his draft stock in his final year in college. Last season, he recorded a career high in pressures with 42. His previous best was 17, along with 34 total tackles, 10 TFLs, and 7 sacks. The numbers certainly look good, but on tape, while he does do some good stuff, there are also some problems that stick out like a sore thumb. Starting off with the positives, the main weapon that Boye Mafe has in his arsenal is his athleticism. It sticks out on his tape, he showcased it at the Senior Bowl, and the numbers back it up. His official posted 40-yard dash time was 4.53, and his 3-cone drill was 7.24, both very good numbers for an edge rusher. Although overall his technique does need quite a bit of refinement, he has perfected a couple of moves that should figure to translate well to the NFL, most notably his cross-chop moves, which multiple scouts and analysts have praised. His best plays come when he is standing up in a 2-point stance as a 9 technique, or in layman's terms, he is best when he can attack from a wide angle off the edge and use his speed to win at the line of scrimmage. This is where we move into some of the negative sides of his game. Mafe's play strength is definitely an issue. As a result of this, he struggles with power moves. At the NFL level, he would be going up against bigger, faster tackles than in college, who would be able to take away the speed element of his game. He has basically no power moves in his tool belt to counter his speed moves, and that is going to be an issue. One of the many things that make an edge rusher such as Von Miller so special is their many different moves that they can use to win at the line of scrimmage, both speed and power moves. Unless some coach out there in the league can help Mafe develop some counter moves, he may be a bit of a one-trick pony in the NFL. He almost reminds me of Malik Reed in this sense. Another way those two are similar is they are virtually non-existent in the run game. Another issue that I have with Boye Mafe is one that is really going to cause fits for him if it goes uncorrected. This is his tendency to take a false step on his initial get off at the line of scrimmage. When a rusher takes a false step on his get off, it can completely throw off the timing of his rush, more often than not leading to him losing the rep. The reason why I am so worried about this for a guy like Boye Mafe is because success as a speed rusher is dependent on winning on your initial get off, and it is even more critical for a guy who doesn't have counter moves when he initially gets beat like Mafe. Unless this gets corrected early, this will be something that could plague him long term. Mafe has multiple technical issues with his hands and feet that are going to need to be addressed as well. His footwork is honestly all over the place, and he's going to have to learn how to consistently use his hands to swipe away at blockers. Both of these things are very much coachable, so being drafted to the right situation could be critical for his development. Additionally, Mafe's Pro Football Focus grades were concerning last season. And I get it, PFF grades aren't everyone's cup of tea, but in my opinion, just like any stat, it isn't perfect, but PFF does a good job breaking the tape down into something that you can look at on a larger scale. I do tend to look at PFF grades quite a bit more for college prospects, as you would hope that due to the talent disparity at the college level, guys who are highly regarded as NFL prospects would grade highly amongst their peers. Mafe graded as the 84th best edge rusher in the country last season, which isn't exactly the ranking you want for someone who figures to be a top 100 prospect in the NFL draft. Breaking the PFF grades down a bit further, Mafe graded as the 64th best edge rusher in pass rush, which is a pretty mediocre grade. As far as run defense goes, it was pretty abysmal, as he was graded the 296th best run defending edge rusher in the country. Due to Mafe's weaknesses to his game, especially as a run defender, I feel that early on during his time in the NFL, he will be confined to a mostly rotational role, seeing the field in obvious passing situations. It honestly may take him upwards of 3 seasons to refine his craft to a point where teams would be comfortable with him as a 3-down edge rusher. The Denver Broncos entered the 2022 season with some question marks regarding depth at the edge rush position, as starters Bradley Chubb and Randy Gregory have question marks surrounding their health. We all know about Chubb's injuries the past 3 seasons, and further complicating matters, big-ticket free agent signee Randy Gregory had an off-season surgery on his shoulder, but he does figure to be ready to go for the regular season. Malik Reed will be returning to the Broncos after signing his restricted free agent tender, and he figures to be penciled in as our 3rd edge rusher. The 4th spot is where things get a bit more interesting. At this point, it figures to be an open competition. Jonathan Cooper showed some nice flashes when he got playing time last season, so currently he figures to be the favorite to win the job. Competing with him will be 2021 third-round pick Baron Browning, who is being moved to the edge rush position full-time after spending most of his rookie season as an off-ball linebacker. Andre Mintz and Aaron Patrick also figure to be in the mix, but Browning and Cooper figure to be the favorites as things sit today. If the Broncos were to bring in a guy like Boye Mafe, he would likely be in competition for the 4th edge rush spot with the guys listed above, with the hopes that he could develop into a bigger role as the years go on. The Broncos are going to have to ask themselves some questions. Does Boye Mafe have a higher ceiling than Jonathan Cooper and Baron Browning? And if so, how much? Does he have a lower floor than those 3 players? And would Boye Mafe be worth spending likely a top 100 pick on? As far as ceiling is concerned, I feel that it would be fair to say that if his full potential is met, Boye Mafe likely has the highest ceiling of those 3 players. Now, as far as floor is concerned, I feel that there could be an argument made either way, so that one is more of a subjective opinion. Based on what I have seen on tape, they all have very similar floors. Finally, is Boye Mafe worth a top 100 pick? NFL teams love them some athletic edge rushers, so I don't see Boye Mafe sliding out of the top 100. Some team out there will buy in my opinion. They'll see his physical traits as a ball of clay that they can mold into a starting quality player. The Broncos currently possess 3 picks in the top 100, picks 64, 75, and 96. They also have 2 picks just outside the top 100 in picks 115 and 116. Picks 64 and 75 are simply too rich for my blood for a player like Boye Mafe, as the Broncos are a team who is looking to win right now, and I strongly do not believe that Boye Mafe will be a major impact player in his rookie season. I would certainly start to warm up to the idea of drafting Boye Mafe as we approach the pick 96 area. However, as I said earlier, there is a legitimate chance that he won't be there. If he is still on the board at pick 96, in all likelihood, he will be the best edge rusher available. The Broncos would at least have to entertain the idea at that point. Would it make a ton of sense? I'm not so sure. You invested similar capital in Baron Browning last season, and if you were to use the 96 pick on Boye Mafe, I feel that you would be signaling your lack of confidence in Baron Browning if you are the Broncos. Unless the Broncos strongly feel that Boye Mafe is the best player available at pick 96, or they really don't have confidence in Jonathan Cooper or Baron Browning, I don't think that the fit makes sense. Do I feel that Boye Mafe is worthy of a top 100 pick? Probably, but not for the Broncos given their current situation. But of course, that is just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts on Boye Mafe in the comment section below, Broncos country. I would really love to hear from you. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss another video. We are trying to reach 500 subscribers before the NFL draft, so I would really appreciate you helping us out. Also, give me a follow on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL for more coverage of our Denver Broncos as well as the NFL in general. And for now, this has been another episode of Sparkin over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.